Hello everyone, I'm Professor Nelson, your electronics teacher. In this video, we're going to learn how to use a MOSFET transistor like this one here to turn LED bulbs on and off, regardless of their wattage, whether they're 220 volts or 110 volts. This way, we can replace any mechanical switch we have installed. With an electronic switch we make ourselves, using a simple N-channel MOSFET transistor. And along the way, we'll learn a little more about electronics so you can use it at work. So, without further ado, let's watch the video. Alright, now for some theory. For this example, we're going to use an N-channel MOSFET transistor. In this case, it would be the IRFZ44N, which has an internal structure like this one here, in which we can see the terminals called source, drain, and gate. Between the source and drain, there is a high resistance. That is, there is no current flow between these two terminals. For current to flow, we must apply a positive voltage to the gate. When a positive voltage is applied to the gate, the transistor creates a path or channel between the source and drain. And thanks to this path or channel, the current will be able to circulate between the source and the drain. However, when we remove the positive voltage from the gate, it will maintain the positive charge on its terminal, as if it were a capacitor. This allows the transistor to function even when there is no positive voltage on the gate. That is, the MOSFET transistor can latch and continue operating indefinitely until we discharge the positive charge on the gate by applying a negative voltage. Here, we will have to apply a negative voltage. Therefore, we discharge the positive charge and eliminate the channel or path that was previously formed. And only in this way will we make the MOSFET transistor stop working. However, let's look at this practically. The pinout is as follows: gate, drain, and source. Now, if I apply a positive voltage to the gate with respect to the source, the channel or path will be generated. Therefore, between the drain and the source, there will be 0 ohms or continuity. To eliminate that channel or path, I have to apply a negative voltage to the gate with respect to the source. And we measure again between the drain and the source, and we will no longer have the path or channel. To recreate the path, we apply positive voltage to the gate, and we verify if the channel has formed. And in this way, the transistor works. That is, it can latch. Very good. Now let's look at the circuit we're going to build so we can analyze it. But first, a big hello to all my subscribers, to those who comment and share the videos, and especially to the channel members. A big hello to all the channel members. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Seriously, thank you so much. And if you're not yet a channel member, you can become one in the members section. Without further ado, let's continue with the video. Here we have the circuit we're going to build to replace a mechanical switch like this one. So that it functions as an electronic switch using a MOSFET transistor. We're going to use a 12-volt power supply of 1 amp, or 2 amps, or even half an amp. Here we have our transistor, the IRFZ44N, a 12-volt, 10-amp relay, the light bulb, and the 220-volt power outlet. Here we can see 3 electrodes. The first electrode connects to the negative terminal of the power supply. The second electrode connects to the gate of the transistor. And the third electrode connects to the positive terminal. If I make contact between the negative electrode and the gate, I could turn off the transistor. But if I touch the gate electrode and the positive electrode, I can turn on or activate the MOSFET transistor. And in this way, I will activate the relay and turn on the light bulb as if it were a touch sensor. However, there are some drawbacks. In theory, everything works fine, without problems. But we must remember that we have parasitic tensions. That is, when we touch something, a cable or wire, we generate this type of signal in the cable or electrode we are touching. Therefore, it is possible that the transistor will not function correctly. However, there are solutions for this, but we will assemble the circuit and see these problems. So let's move on to the practical part. Very good. Now let's see some practice. Here we have the circuit already assembled. It is the same one we were analyzing. Here you can see the 3 electrodes. We have the gate electrode, the negative electrode, and the positive electrode. We also have an indicator LED. And we have our 12-volt, 10-amp relay. We're not connecting the light bulb yet, because we need to see how the circuit works first. If it works correctly, we'll connect the bulb. Okay, now listen carefully. To turn it off, I have to press the negative electrode along with the gate electrode. However, you can see that it generates a buzzing sound. That sound is the relay trying to activate or deactivate. This is because we're acting as an antenna and can generate interference. It's as if we're sending this type of signal to the gate. And no matter how hard I try, I can't turn the relay off correctly, nor can I turn it on. So how do we solve this problem? Well, the simplest way would be to use capacitors to filter this noise. We would have to place them between the gate and the negative terminal. This way, the interference we're causing will be filtered out to the negative terminal of the power supply. The capacitor value can vary. However, you can try values from 10 nanofarads to 200 nanofarads. However, I generally use a 100 nanofarad capacitor. It can be ceramic or polyester. Let's test it and see how it works. We put the capacitor between the gate and ground. Now let's try to turn it on. Turn it off. Turn it on. Okay, it works very well. Now let's connect the 220-volt power supply and the light bulb. and let's see how it works. Very good. Now let's try the light bulb at 220 volts or 110 volts. Good. It works very well. And as you just saw, we were able to observe some interference or problems in the circuit. And we were also able to observe the characteristics of a transistor. Remember that it's good to learn and test these characteristics practically. Okay guys, this is how the video would end. Now, don't forget that if you like the video, a like really helps the channel. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.